God. It was my birthday.
Oh, no, that was her birthday yesterday.
Oh my God.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh my God.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nina. Happy birthday to you.
Wow, thank you. Oh my God.
Yay! 39 years old.
I am so honored. This is the biggest birthday singing celebration I've had in a very long time. Aw, thank you.
No, it's just fabulous. Hi, everybody. You know, I've got to say, quite honestly, that it's been a long time since I've been to a con, over 3 years, I think. And I can't tell you what a pleasure and an honor it is to be here to see you guys, because it's nice to connect with all you guys. And when you come into the dealer room and say hello, it's just a wonderful thing. It just reminds me of what a great show we had back in the day, and how the franchise is still going on with different voices and different people. And I'd just like to say thank you for being loyal fans.
Yeah. And I would like to say, hello, Baltimore! We made it! Woo! Garry and I were so excited that we were getting out of Canada and coming into the US to this convention. And we almost didn't make it because we had a lot of flight issues yesterday. But Colin and his great team pulled through and managed to get us on a flight to get us here in time for this, so we really appreciate it. We love being here with you. We love seeing old faces and new ones. I'd like to welcome all those that it's their first TF Con. I'm sure it's exciting, and you're going to have a great weekend. So thank you for coming. Yeah. Woo-hoo!
You know, I've never been to Baltimore, but I kind of like the music. It's yeah, no, it's really nice here. Now, I keep telling it. I've told Venus and I've told a few other people, but my only connection with Baltimore is I keep seeing the M&T Stadium, the bank, and well, I used to do all the commercials for M&T Bank here, and I used to do it for the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills from Buffalo. And it was so fun, and because I remember saying that catchphrase, M&T Bank, the official bank of the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but we're here for Transformers, not that.
That's right.
Anyway, I'm quite amazed. You know, I got to tell you, I've been watching some of the new Transformers. The graphics, the graphic design, and the animation is, well, I got to say, it's pretty darn fabulous. You know. The voices, well,
that's debatable.
no, they're okay. Aren't they?
They are.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I mean, we were very fortunate living in Canada when they brought the show Beast Wars to Vancouver, that we were able to be a part of that. That was a great experience, working with amazing actors and, of course, our amazing director, Sue Blue. It was, Sue's awesome. And what's amazing and wonderful is that even after over 20, was it 25 or 20, is it 25 years or 20?
Oh, it's more than that. We met on,
we started.
We did a pilot for a movie pilot for a series for John Denver.
Oh, yeah.
And that was, the movie was called Higher Ground. And it was John Rhys Davies and
Was it Richard Macer?
Huh?
Richard Macer, I think his name is.
and
Michael Benyer and
Michael
myself
Benyer and her.
you.
That's where we first met.
Yeah,
So that's, I'm sorry to say,
a lot of you.
was 34 years ago.
Oh, so that means I'm 22.
No, she was only 17, but but there you go. Anyway, I know that you're just, I don't know what I can say to you except, is there any questions that you may have? Yes, there's a question. Oh, look at that. A forest of arms goes up. Oh my God.
When you were first setting up the race for Optimus Primal, did you listen to or watch the old cartoon Transformers to kind of pull from the film's performance, or was it completely all made by you?
When I auditioned for Optimus Primal, I had no real previous exposure to the Transformers. In that, my only connection with Transformers in that time was I used to do the commercials for the toys for Transformers Generation 2. Remember the Transformers Generation 2, batteries sold separately, I used to do those ads, but I never had any real connection with the TV series because, well, I was in my 30s, I guess. And so I had no preconception of what Optimus was going to sound like. So they made him a warm-blooded creature, an animal, rather than a robot. So I thought I'd endow him with human qualities and compassion and all those the different emotions that people have, and the relationships with my fellow Transformers were they were quite human. We're like a big family, and that's how we treated it. We always had that bratty kid. What was his name?
Scott.
Oh. There's a rodent. No, Rat Trap. There you go.
Rat Trap.
I loved Rat Trap, and Dinobot was that cousin nobody talks about, and Black Arachnia was the hottie everybody wanted, but she was a bad guy. Oh. Go figure. And Rhinox, he was like your best pal, uncle. He was cool. And
Megatron.
Huh?
Megatron.
Oh, Megatron, yeah. His pants are on just way too tight.
Yes.
I just thought, okay, Meg, calm down.
I think that was
a big planet. There's only us. It
was a character choice and helped him with his voice.
Yeah, but what happened was I auditioned and I was originally going to be Megatron. And David Kaye was going to be Optimus. And then they decided, early on in the game, like before we started recording, that I was going to do Optimus and David was going to do Megatron. So it was sort of fated to be, and I'm glad they did that because Megatron is fantastic. I love yes. Side guns. Oh yeah, I love all the stuff that he does. And Optimus was, shut up, Rat Trap. It was this long-suffering, the long-suffering dad, dad to all these guys, and poor little Cheetor, that angst-ridden teenager, it was just. So that's what happened is they narrowed it down to the final cast. And I think the final cast was pretty darn fabulous, if you don't mind my saying. Now, we have more questions. Yes?
Hi, Garry.
Hi.
I felt there was a shift in tone going from beast towards beast machines. Did either of you change your approaches to
Well, you're talking about the transformation from beast machines to the beast, the Maximals and the transmetals and all that. Yeah. What happened is the stories became more evolved, and they also became more introspective. And it became less about battles and fighting than internal struggles, and for lack of a better word, a spiritual crises rather than actual physical ones. And part of me was going, no, is that a great idea? Well, it's good. From an acting point of view, it was great. I don't know how it attracted or how it was with the viewers, but I sort of liked the evolution of the series. It was pretty something.
And a lot of times we weren't privy to the scripts beforehand because they were top secret. So we would get them as we would come into the studio, right? So we'd be reading them for the first time, and a lot of times, like, we wouldn't record line by line. We would record scene by scene until they got what they wanted, and yeah, we
love ensemble recording. Ensemble recording is the best way to go.
Such a difference.
Yes, someone else. Yes.
How do you feel about Ron Perlman taking over your role as Optimus Prime?
I didn't.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Here's the thing. Ron Perlman, great actor, love him, enjoy him. Very, very nice man. I've played golf with him and spent days, chatting with him. He's a wonderful guy. I got to say that the episodes of Kingdom that he did, they were a little bit, they just weren't, they were kind of low energy, kind of flat, I guess. But that's a direction. I don't know how he's going to do on the movie. I hope he does well. I send it to him because he is a great guy and a great actor. But I'm pissed at the people who created the show because they never even approached me, and I'm the guy who created the bloody role. So there you go. Yeah, I'll get some more down. They're working their way up. Go ahead.
If you would like to return into the role of both Optimus Prime and Gratification, how will your character evolve or stay the same?
I didn't get that.
Can you repeat that?
Will your character evolve from a different type of how they were before, or will they stay the same how they were in the original?
Yes.
Well, are you saying how?
How did it evolve?
Well, my character evolved because she was a Predacon and then became a Maximal.
Oh, you're talking about Dinobot?
Is that
what you're talking about, Dinobot?
I didn't hear.
I'm sorry. I wish I could hear. Take that, Matt. Just pull them out, though. Repeat that again.
How would your character evolve if you?
Oh, how would my character evolve? Well, this is what would happen. I'm so sorry. I'm just a little hard of hearing. How would it evolve? Well, for one thing, I'd become a little bit tougher. I'd be a little bit wiser, and probably less tolerant. That's what I think I would do.
And I would be more conniving. I would manipulate the boys. I would use my brain.
Yes.
To be able to one day become the head of Beast Wars. Right? Why not?
Well, she's always plotting against poor Megatron, and the other guys, oh man, they're kind of pathetic. Pterosaur and Tarantulas and that, they're poor guys. They're just...
Tarantulas was great, too.
Waspinator.
Yeah. Waspinator.
I mean, come on. Poor old Waspman there. He was like the biggest hapless Harry in the world. And poor guy, always getting screwed. Yes.
Venus, what was the casting process like for you, and how did you come to the voice Black Armada
Oh, we were sent out auditions for a new cartoon series that was happening in Vancouver. So we got a rough drawing of the character and some dialogue, and we went in and auditioned for Sue Blue. And then Sue, I had worked with her before. She was fantastic in helping me further my career in voice work. She directed me and actually helped to try to find the voice for Black Arachnia, because we tried a bunch of different things, and it was with her guidance and direction that we were able to come up with the voice. Plus the drawings help, because when you're looking at the character, you kind of want to emulate that person and be as true to that character as possible. Yeah.
Hi, Hayes. So, when you were playing as Black Arachnia, did you have any idea that she would evolve from Predacon to Maximal later on? And are you satisfied with how she turned out?
Well, I had no idea, because like I said, we would get the scripts on the day that we would show up to record. Yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised. It was just really great the way they wrote the character, right? I mean, she was evil, she did her thing, but then realized there's more to it than just what, she was awakened, basically. And I really loved the storyline with Silverbolt, because you could see she was struggling, but there was just something about him, kind of like in real life, where you're just like, he's not good for me, but I might just go for it. And the same for him, right? And it was just a lot of fun working with Scott and working on those scenes. It was so sweet and not unexpected, especially in Beast Wars, right? A love story. But really, all stories are about love at the end of the day.
Oh, boy. Yes?
Garry, this is absolute honor. Thank you for being here. I just wanted to ask, Garry, as you said earlier, computer animation is so much better today, so much more rich, and it looks beautiful. Back today, might not have aged as great as some people would like. Still looks good for what it was at the time, but it was brand new. Beast Wars was the second CG animated series. First was Reboot, which I think we both worked on as
Yeah.
well. My question is, what was your reaction seeing your voices come out of a computer-generated character for the first time?
What is an actor doing my voice? It's just, if I get the question right, it's just trial and error. How do you create the character? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, kind of like sorry. What was it like seeing your voice come out of a brand new type of animation for the very first time?
Oh, okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah, what is it? What it's like seeing your voice coming out of animation? Well, sometimes it's like hearing yourself sing. It's not pleasant, but most of the time it's okay. What I'm looking for is, I know what my voice sounds like. What I look for in when I'm listening to the voice is, do I believe it? And if I believe it, and I can suspend my belief that it's not me, it's just a character, then I'm happy. And it took me a long time to get to the point where I could listen to myself and watch myself on TV without going, ah! Because here's the thing. When you do a voice, when you're acting, doing any kind of voicing, when you hear the voice for the first time, you're hearing it with your head, your sinuses, your jaw, your chest. You're hearing it with all these things. You have perfect sound quality. But when you hear it on a tape recording, you think it sounds kind of thin or reedy or whatever it is. But to other people listening to your voice, to them, it sounds like what it sounds like in your head. And you never get used to it because it's giving a true representation, but it will never copy the voice that's inside your head. So you may think it's thin and reedy, but it's not. It's how other people hear it. Like, I cannot stand the sound of my own singing voice. I listen to myself sing and I go, oh, for Christ's sake, stop doing that. You're torturing people. But people keep saying, oh, no, you have a great singing voice. You have this fabulous singing voice. And I'm going, how can you say that? It sounds like crap to me. But that's the way it is. And it takes a long time to get past that sort of self-criticism, because you know what's going on inside your head when you say those lines, you know. So you can go, like on TV especially, you watch it and you go, oh, lie, lie, lie. Oh, I believe that, lie. Thankfully, these days, now everything, when I watch my shows, I go, great, I'm telling the truth. That's all that matters.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that for me, because voice acting wasn't what I initially started out to do as an actor, that just fell in my lap. It was very exciting, and I don't know how to express it. Like, it's one thing to do film and TV where it's, you know, live, it's you, that's one thing. But to voice a character, a cartoon character, is just so friggin' cool, right? And just the response that I get from people like years later that have watched the show, or I've done a bunch of them, it's just so rewarding because I get more, how do you say, gratification from having done voice work than I have live TV. I just love the fans, and I think that that's what makes it so special. Like, you have people that really appreciate what we do,
yeah,
and enjoy watching them, and yeah,
you got to
and are
remember
supportive.
those characters that you hear in cartoons. To them, they're real, and they live in a real world. It may be fantastical to you, to us, but to them, the characters, it's real. So if they don't play those characters as real and as honest and truthful as they should be, when you watch it, there's something in the back of your mind that goes, nope, bad, bad acting, horrible. And why? Because you're not lying very well, and people just don't believe you what you're saying, and because those characters, they're real people feeling real feelings in a real situation, blah blah blah.
But I have to say, when you're watching your favorite cartoon show, that's entertainment. Like, you get lost in that world. Like, you don't even, it's not like you're watching, oh, Venus Terzo is portraying a character. It's like you're watching the show, you're watching the characters, the characters that are drawn out. And it's amazing. And it's a great way to escape and to enjoy, you know, watching your favorite shows.
I'll give you an example. How many people here, be honest now, how many people were choked when Dinobot died? See? Because why? Because you cared about that character. Even though he was a bad guy sometimes and a good guy, you care about that character, and you care what happens to that character. The biggest sin as an actor is to have someone not care about it. You know, anyway. There was someone, I saw someone's arm up, and, oh, you got it here? We get some of the front too, so, yeah, go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much for coming. It's been 25 years since these toys first aired, and even in the last 5 years, you've had these new toys of your characters portrayed, like comics. There's a new movie that's going to be like having these sources a part of it. How do you feel about just the presence of the characters you played, like recently, like how they were portrayed, you know, like how fans, you know, how like fans still remember stuff that you've done 25 years ago, how relevant these sports is because of your contribution to it?
Well, it's our contribution, but it's also your support. Like, I mean, we wouldn't be here without you guys. Like, that's the truth. And we really appreciate it, and we're grateful. and it's heartwarming. Like, I enjoy meeting each and every one of you that comes up just to say hi or to say, hey, I met you years ago at another con. You know, that's what's gratifying in the work that we do and for the characters that we portray.
What she said.
Hello guys, thank you for coming in. Beast Wars is one of the funnier Transformers series. There's a lot of funny lines and jokes, it cracks a lot of laughs, and I was wondering what are your favorite funny lines or jokes, if you remember any of them?
What, favorite lines from Beast Wars?
Like as a joke.
As a joke.
Humorous lines.
Oh, yes. Oh, well, one of my favorite lines was, oh, silly me. What episode was that? I was trying to help Rat Trap, and he did something wrong, and I went, oh, silly me for trusting you. But I went, oh, silly me. Why did I put my faith in you? The other one's shut up, Rat Trap. And the other one was, oh, you know, Optimus was kind of humorless. He was kind of, like, that dad who's always boring and always says the right thing. And you go, oh, Dad.
I know. Actually, Scott McNeil's characters have some of the funniest moments, right? I mean, we have to agree on that. Scotty.
Is Terzo?
Yeah.
Do you prefer Black Dragon as a Retcon or Maximal?
Ooh. Both.
Yeah, they're all fun.
She has many layers. And, like I said, when it started, we didn't know the direction that the character was going, but I'm really glad it ended up that way. Because being a Predacon, obviously, I mean, the Maximals looked after each other and they were fighting for the good, whereas Predacons were just, they really wanted, to beat the other team. And, but I enjoyed playing both sides. Yeah.
I always wanted to be a Predacon. You know what I've always wanted to ask is, when the Predacons go home, they take a day off, they're sitting around the ship, watching the game, maybe having something to eat. I mean, what do they do? What do they talk about at home? They don't sit up there and go, okay, tomorrow we're going to really destroy those Maximals. Yeah, I know. Let's get the Maximal. No, they're going to, oh, what a day I had today. Yeah. Good Lord, Cheetor shot me right in the ass. Oh, it hurt. I don't think I'll get up tomorrow. I'm staying home. No, I'm sorry. I just can't do it, Megatron. You're pushing us too hard. I'm sorry. We always get hurt, and you never get hurt because you're standing in the back here lording it over.
That's right.
La, la, la. How would that conversation go? I don't know. And just like, and the same for the Maximals. What do the Maximals do at home? You want to make a pie.
They probably all get together and make popcorn and watch TV.
Yes.
Hello, first off, I want to say how much my honor it is to be here right now among other Transformer fans. I'm from Oliver, Mississippi, and where I'm from, it's rare to come across other Transformer fans, so it feels so wholesome right now. I feel like I'm home right now with everybody in here and meeting y'all. It's such an honor to be here.
Well,
Yay, from Mississippi. Woo!
Thank you.
And Gary, I have a very big question for you. You have had the honor to do two of the biggest Transformers icons ever, Optimus Primal and Optimus Prime himself. Now, did you feel at all scared or discouraged when you took up the mantle of Optimus Prime over Peter Cullen for Transformers Armada?
Why me? No, I'm okay. I have no real problems with it. I just, with whatever rolls, it rolls. If I was to get, emotionally involved or, say attached to anything beyond the professional one, I could be in a lot of trouble. I could, be making great scenes on media and things like that, but I don't do that. I just enjoy what I do, and if I can do it for as long as I can, that's all that matters to me. You're quite welcome.
Yes, he did.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Now we're moving to the front. At last, I can understand what people are saying.
When you guys got the call for the show, and you saw that it was going to be part 2, did you realize it was going to be like a computer-generated cartoon? Because only really 1 or 2 had been done at the time. And part 2, you heard Garry do a little bit of Optimus Prime, but he was going to do a little elaborate.
Oh, sure. So your first part of the question was, can you repeat the first part of the question? Sorry.
Did you guys realize it was going to be a computer-generated part 2?
Did we realize that it was going to be a computer-generated cartoon?
Did we do what?
Did we realize it was going to be a computer-generated cartoon?
What? Oh, the Transformers Beast Wars? Actually, we had no idea what that meant.
Yeah. True.
I got to be honest with you. The fellows who created the Beast Wars, the CGI for Beast Wars, if you remember a song called "I Want My MTV," remember that? Okay, the computer graphics that was in that show. Well, the guys who created the CGI for Beast Wars did that music video, and that was their first foray into CGI. And it was quite primitive back then. And to be honest, Beast Wars was not, compared to today's CGI, Beast Wars was pretty basic, but it was a pioneer. And that's what made it so special to us. But when I saw the first images, when the first images came out, I was just like blown away completely. That opening sequence with the ship and the ray guns and all that, I'm going, holy crap, this is going to knock them off their asses. And I'll never forget when Ian Pearson was talking about Toy Story, when Toy Story came out. 350,000 hours of work went into Toy Story. And it took him over a year and a half to do an hour and 15 minutes. And he goes, that's nothing. We throw out a 20-minute show or 22-minute show every week. And it's true, they did a massive amount of CGI. And I remember taking a tour of the studio where all the artists were, the renderers and the backgrounders and all that. No offense. But they had the guy who drew Black Arachnia, had pictures of women, very shapely women, all over his cubicle where he was doing his animation. And he was using all these women as models for the perfect Black Arachnia.
And if I remember correctly, the original model was an actual someone he knew who was a dancer of Asian descent. She was of Asian descent, and he modeled Black Arachnia after her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And the same guy did Dot.
Oh, yeah, hang on. I can't remember if the line goes, even if I'm...
Even when I'm bad, I'm good. Or even when I'm good, I'm bad. Black Arachnia, terrorize!
Yeah.
I got to tell you, for 2 hours sleep, we're doing pretty good up here. Oh, man. Oh, yes. Where's that? Up there you are.
When did you realize just how special
that's an easy one.
when we met you guys.
When I realized it was so special, is I went to my first con.
Yeah.
And you were there too.
Yeah.
Down in California, was it Los Angeles?
Was it San Jose?
Yeah, it was at Disneyland, by Disneyland.
Oh, Disneyland.
We were at Disneyland, and I remember the guy who was running the show came up and he goes, "It's okay, we're going into the ballroom now." And we go to a ballroom like this, and there were a few thousand people in this room. It was this huge room. And he brought me over to this table. There was a table of girls sitting over here. And I don't know if you ever saw Galaxy Quest. Remember Galaxy Quest? Remember the opening when he walked into the convention and all the girls were sitting there, you go, well, this guy walked over and he said, "Ladies, this is Optimus Primal." And they all went, so I thought, okay, this is a bit weird. And then they brought us on stage, and the place went insane. It was just, they were just crazy, and I just couldn't believe it. And I thought, oh, I never realized that. I had no idea that the show was like...
Well, because we're able to do conventions for Beast Wars, so we get to meet and see the fans. Whereas when we do other television shows, like people will come up to me and say, "Oh, I really liked you," and blah, 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 but it's very discreet, very quiet. Whereas here you get to be part of this wonderful energy, and people just like, they love the show, and they appreciate you, and we appreciate you guys for being here.
Well, it's so
and
funny. I've been all over the world. I've been, in Germany and in Czech Republic and in
England.
Australia, and the fans are as rabid as they are anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter where you go, and it's like the people are just, they have this wonderful fascination and love for this show. And I remember doing a show in Prague, in the Czech Republic, and nobody spoke English. I mean, they all spoke Czech. But I had a Czech translator there, and she was, going back and forth and the same questions and whatnot. And they were wonderful. It was just crazy. So to me, that first day in California was just like, oh
wow.
Boy, now we have to live up to this thing. We have to live up to this show, and I'm so glad we did, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah.
I've always been proud of it, and that's
And
where it goes.
even.
Huh? Well, thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Let's go with games. As Garry mentioned, to bring a character to life, you have to be passionate, there have to be genuine. So, are there any ways in which you can relate to, or ways that you're similar to your character?
I'm not perfect. I do have a dark side. I said I'm not perfect. I do have a dark side.
Oh, no, she's perfect.
Oh, no. No.
Sorry. Yes?
Mr. Shaw, so I know David Kay's performance as Hedgehog is, pretty legendary. But you stated earlier that you had originally auditioned for Hedgehog in Beast Wars. So what do you think your version of Hedgehog sounded like? Well, what kind of Hedgehog would you have played had you gotten that role instead of David Kay?
Ooh.
Well, I always wanted Megatron to be kind of precious. I always wanted him to be, no. That would have been funny though, but no. I had a sort of a similar approach that David Kay had, in that I would say,
launch the side guns. Yes, it's time to destroy these Maximals once and for all.
That would have been good.
But we had that kind of a, thank you. We had that kind of a thing going. So it was very similar. But with Optimus, it's the same thing. You derive the character from the physicality of the character, and you derive it from the background, the backstory. And Optimus was always a very tolerant, very forgiving, but stern and strong when it came to protecting his group
loyal.
and his crowd,
right?
And honorable, very honorable, and that's what. So you have to endow that character with a different sensibility, and it's just like with any human, I mean, there's Hannibal and there's Father Christmas.
What is your favorite thing about working on the Beast Wars show?
My favorite thing of working on Beast Wars, well, we used to work at a studio called Pinewood Studios. And Pinewood Studios was all rustic wood walls, wood paneling and that. And it was run by these beautiful people named, one person, Jean, English lady, who I just adored. And what I loved about the place most of all was having the opportunity to work with, with Venus here and with Scott and
Ian
and Doug and Alex and Jimmy Burns and Ian Corlett and Richard. All of those people were just wonderful to work with them. Pauline and Blue Mancuma. It was just a real treat to go into the studio and hang out with these guys all day, and just
and it felt like a family because we would do it weekly, and sometimes two shows a week.
And the great thing about it is that we had already done many cartoon shows together before. Like I think the first cartoon I did with her was
Captain N.
Captain Nintendo, Captain N, the Games Master. And we always had I'm sorry, I have to do this. She had this line that made people crack up every time. It was a perfectly innocent line, but when you hear it out of context. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah. Oh, what happened? I came as soon as I saw the flare. And for some reason, it was really funny. I don't know why. But the line came out of nowhere and went, what? Oh, that's funny. And that was a great show because this was a new adventure for a lot of us.
That was my introduction to voice work, was Captain N. That was my first cartoon series that I did in Vancouver.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's just this, I remember we had this director who was a madman, remember him? Stu Rosen. And he'd be going, age, like that. Remember he used to bang the mic? And I'd go, Jesus Christ, you're making my ears bleed, man. But for whatever reason, we got along quite well because I used to play this with Mike Donovan, and I used to play a character. He used to play a character named Eggplant Wizard. And he goes, I didn't do it. And I played this big hippo, and he goes, you excuse yourself, you pig. It's very strange. Anyway, that was our first cartoon together, and that was in 1987, I think. 87, somewhere around there. And since then, we've done quite a few different cartoons, and Scotty and myself and Ian and the whole crew of them have been working cartoons for 30 years, so we're more of a family than a cast. Next.
All right, we have time now. It's 2:47, which means we have exactly 8 minutes. So, who had a question? No way. If you have a question that I don't get to, I'm sorry. But they have tables in the deal room where you can ask a question, you can engage in a conversation, get an autograph, get a picture. It's all there. All right, who's got some? I'm going to go with
Say that again, sorry?
Did you guys ever record an episode, but then the directors just decide not to play it?
I don't recall that.
Do we ever record
no.
an episode?
And then they decided not to play it?
Huh?
Did we ever record an episode and then the producers decided that this episode is not going to air?
No.
No.
No, that's never happened. Oh, no, wait, I take it back. Very briefly. Phil Hayes, who played on Reboot with me, and I played with him, we did a show called Sonic the Hedgehog. If you remember Sonic the Hedgehog, and there was Grounder and Scratch and Grounder. Well, Phil played Grounder and I played Scratch. We recorded 6 shows, and Marcia Goodman, who was running the show at the time, came to us one morning and said, "We don't like the voices. Come up with something brilliant right now, or you're fired." Those were her exact words.
Oh my goodness.
Come up with something brilliant right now, or you're fired. And we came up, we had like an Abbott Costello thing going, "Hey, Abbott! Hey, Scratch!" You know, and nothing was working. They hated it. And so we're flipping around, and I said, "Hey, I'll play Scratch, or I'll play Grounder. You play Scratch." And that's when I go, "Well, I'm not stupid. I just lost my head for a moment." You know, and Scratch goes, "Aha! Wow, what are you doing, Grounder?" And they took it back to Hasbro, and Hasbro said, "We love it. Thank you." And that's how we got the voices. Then we had to re-record 6 episodes, so it has happened. But I've never
not,
had
but
an
not on
episode
Beast Wars, no.
of Transformers. No.
Yeah, Transformers.
Yes.
My question for Garry Top. Have you ever thought about wanting to voice Megatron in a later series, similar to how David Kay voiced Optimus in animated?
I did get
Have
that.
you ever thought of voicing Megatron, like how David Kay voiced Optimus in...
No, I never did. 'Cause I never heard his Optimus, so...
I have an incredibly weird question from an incredibly weird group of friends. What would you do if you woke up one morning and all of a sudden had hot dogs for legs?
A what?
Had hot dogs for legs? I'd probably eat my legs. If you woke up and you had hot dogs for legs, what would you do? I said I'd eat my legs.
If I had hot dogs for legs, I'd cover them in mustard and put them in a bun. Oh, God.
We have 4 minutes. I'm going to go bring you all children.
I'll make this fast, like everybody, the Beast Wars series for trusting our favorites coming up. My question for you two is, how do you think about the series processing? I mean, when you first started with the battles, and then throwing in aliens of all things, and then the final series when you said you were actually completed for a crowd. How do you feel about that?
I'm so sorry.
How do you guys feel about the series processing from when you first started with Maximals against Predacons, leading up to when you discovered you're on prehistoric Earth with the Autobots and the Decepticons sleeping in the Ark?
Okay. I felt all right about it. I mean, you know, as like Robert Mitchum says, they give me the words, I say them. You know, and yeah, I had no real problems with it. I mean, there's just some complaints, but nothing bad.
I've been in Transformers for about 40 years, and I saw these different transitions. But for you, well really for you both, the biggest transition was from Beast Wars to Beast Machines.
I wish I could understand what you're saying.
Different change, and did you have to change up the characters as you went from Beast Wars to Beast Machines?
Did we have to change up the characters from Beast Wars to Beast Machines?
I can't hear this.
Did we have to change up the characters from Beast Wars to Beast Machines? Our characters pretty much stayed the same. I mean, they evolved, obviously, with the storylines, but for the most part, we didn't really have to change who we were.
I don't think they changed all that much.
No.
I mean, the characters never changed, but the toy changed a little bit.
Yes.
And also it was at this point that the character started becoming more introspective.
Mm-hmm.
There was that, but basically the characters stayed the same. We're playing in the moment as it goes.
What was your guys' favorite episode of Beast Wars?
Huh?
What was your favorite episode of Beast Wars?
What's your favorite episode of the Beast Wars?
The favorite episode of the
All of
Beast
them.
Wars. Oh my God.
My favorite is,
The one where I can't remember the title. Was it Call of the Wild? It's when Optimus goes full ape. What was that episode called? Yeah, that one. And the other one was the death of Dinobot. That was such a killer episode. I mean, it was just brilliant. I really quite liked that one. Those are my faves.
And my favorite was obviously with Silverbolt, the relationship with that, just because it became personal for me, and it was just really cool to work with Scott.
Hi, my question is for Venus. So Black Arachne and Tarantulas have a really psychologically complex relationship. What was that like for you as an actor?
Well, Alex actually is actually a really nice guy, but Tarantulas and Black Arachnia, that's a different story. He was annoying. Like, I remember that, just really annoying and just couldn't keep up. Felt like he couldn't keep up, or he would just kept messing things up. But in real life, he's really nice.
Annoying, huh? Huh.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks for coming.
Hi, this is Garry Chalk, Optimus Prime. Please stay tuned to Fandom Spotlight. You can watch it online at any time.